Moving to Colorado is stressful enough, but if you have a family, trying to figure out where the best place to live with your family, the best school districts, parks, activities for your kids, that just adds on a whole other line of stress. If that's what's going on with you right now and you're trying to figure out the best places to move your family to in Colorado, well then this is the video for you. Let's get started. Hi there, Christy Lee here, and I am going to be talking about the top 3 areas around Denver that I think you should consider if you're moving to Colorado with a family. Please stay tuned to the very last one because honestly, that is my most personal favorite. So let's just jump right in. All right, the first one I should say, is Parker, Colorado. Now, Parker is going to be located about 30 minutes southeast of Denver. So, as far as location is concerned, Parker is phenomenal just because you could get into Denver within 30 minutes. But what I really love about Parker is that it's going to be only about 15, maybe 20 minutes tops to get into other surrounding cities like Castle Rock, Lone Tree, Highlands Ranch. All of those areas are going to be really, really close to Parker, as well as if you're somebody who, needs to get to the airport quite a bit for whatever reason, travel or business, whatever that might be. Parker is located right off of E470. That'll take you right into DIA. So it'll get you to the airport relatively quickly as well. So cool thing about Parker is that it is located in Douglas County. And so again, if you have kiddos, Douglas County Schools is ranked according to niche.com, it is now number 4th in the state, which is awesome. So it is a really highly ranked school district, especially if your kiddos are into sports. So Douglas County is definitely well known for their sports program. So if you want to have your kids make sure, if they're into sports, whatever, Douglas County is going to be really great location for that. One thing that I love about Parker, and I personally would live in Parker if my husband would move down south. We are northern Colorado people, but Parker is high on my list to move to, mainly because I love its beauty. Now, Parker is known for all the pinery, which is really ironic because it is so far east from the mountains, and yet you feel like you're in the mountains when you're there. There's so many pines, there's deer walking around all the time. There's horseback riding, it's very spread out, but it feels small. Okay. So, so it's 22 square miles and it has 67,000 people who live there. So, it's not small, but it definitely feels a lot smaller than its surrounding areas like Aurora. Aurora is ginormous and it's really close to Parker. In fact, they actually butt up to each other, but Parker has kind of its own little vibe and its own little feel. Another reason why I love this particular area is because it has this cute little downtown area where there's so many shops and restaurants, little boutiques that you could go through. They always have it, decorated for all the holidays, whether it be Christmas or Halloween. They're really into their arts down there, so performing arts. So if your kids like to be in plays, play instruments as well, they are really into that vibe as well. You have outdoor ice skating during the Christmas time in the Discovery Park area. There's an outdoor rec center with a pool and slides and all of that stuff. It is just a really cool community, yet still very close to other areas that you can get to. I love all of its outdoor activities in Parker as well. So you have 900 acres of open space, which is phenomenal. Like I said, they have horseback riding. You could go fishing. You could go hiking. There's so many people who love to ride their bikes out there, run, walk, all of that good stuff. There's trails all over the place in Parker. So I feel like Parker as a whole is really, really cool area. It's great. It's a great area for kids, mainly for its school district. The school district is phenomenal. Douglas County, like I mentioned, so many outdoor activities that you can. Well, one thing I will say though, if your kiddos or yourself are interested in a lot of like maybe the winter sports as far as skiing or snowboarding, it is going to be a little bit farther from the mountains than some of the other areas that I'll talk about, mainly just because it's a lot farther east. So if you plan on heading to the mountains quite a bit for skiing or snowboarding, I mean, figure adding on an additional maybe 30 minutes just to get back home to Parker, just because it is going to be so much farther away. But I mean, overall, like if that's not your thing or you don't plan on going to the mountains quite a bit, I don't feel like that's an issue. You do have Castle Rock right there. So if you're an active like hiker and all of that stuff, you could go into Castle Rock, and there's so many phenomenal like paths and hiking areas, and there's golfing. You have a couple golf courses out there. I believe there's a golf course in Parker as well, but there's definitely in Castle Rock for sure. So I feel like overall Parker is really, really cute. It's a younger vibe. There's a lot of young professionals who live out there as well. The average price point for a house in Parker right now is mid 600s. So it's right on par with some of the other areas. You could get a great house right now, and it's growing like crazy right now. So there's a lot of new development out in Parker as well. So you could get a brand new home for that mid 600s, maybe pushing 700 if you want a newer home. But you know, there's so many new communities out there that if you want a new home, you get more for your money if you go down to Parker. So I definitely highly recommend Parker as the number one spot, or the first spot I recommend if you're bringing a family. Just a reminder, if you're liking this video, please remember to click that subscribe button right there. That way you are notified every time I have a new video. All right, let's head back in. All right, so number 2 on my list is going to be Littleton. Now, Littleton is going to be the opposite side of Parker. You're about 25 minutes southwest of Denver. Littleton is going to be has more of like an older vibe to it. I feel like it's like more established, maybe a little bit older houses, more of the mid-century kind of vibe, and newer, of course, but it's a little bit different vibe. And it's going to be mainly because I feel like it's a lot closer to the mountains. So you have a lot of the foothills and the views. You just kind of feel that when you're out there. It's just a different feeling when you're in Littleton. I personally have lived in Littleton, absolutely love Littleton for so many reasons. One, like I said, it's the vibe. It feels really good out there. Littleton is going to be located in 3 different counties, okay? So you're going to be in Jefferson County, Arapahoe County, and Douglas County. The schools are going to be out there pretty much in all of them, but ironically, Littleton actually has its own public school district, and actually that is ranked number 3 according to niche.com right now. So Littleton School Districts is really, really great for a variety of reasons. Just get on to niche.com and figure them all out. But like I said, you could also be part of Jefferson and Arapahoe, just depending on which area of Littleton you're actually living in. Now, Littleton is actually 14 square miles, so it is relatively, I don't know, it's like medium size, and it's about 45,000 people who live there. So it is going to be a little bit smaller than Parker is, but it feels to be a little bit more spread out. To me, it just feels that way, mainly because there's different pockets of Littleton. Like downtown Littleton is super cute. It has 200 plus stores, restaurants, like the Melting Pot, one of my most favorite restaurants, is located right in there. And that's going to be kind of in the heart of Littleton, right off of like Santa Fe. But if you head more west, then you're going to have a whole different vibe out there as well. You have Hudson Gardens out more towards the west side of Littleton, and Hudson Gardens is like the botanical gardens, and they're going to have concerts, events are held there. Christmas time, you're gonna have the Christmas lights out there in Hudson Gardens. It's just a really, really cool, beautiful area. There's gonna be a huge bike system. I mean, Littleton is known for their bike system. You have about 200 miles spanning, all over Littleton, but it'll take you out to Aurora, it'll take you out to Denver, it'll take you all over the place. So if you are a cyclist, Littleton is gonna be a great location for you because there's trails all over the place. There is 1,400 acres of green space in Littleton. So they are well known for their open space, their green space. One really cool thing about Littleton is that you're gonna have, Chatfield State Park. And so there's the lake out there. So Chatfield Reservoir is going to be out there. So you could go boating, fishing, kayaking, horseback riding's out there as well. And then one of my favorite areas is Roxborough State Park. So there's two state parks in Littleton, and Roxborough is going to be like, these huge red rocks. Like, it's not red rocks, but it looks like that. So if you're somebody who loves to hike and bird watch, or, take your kids on all these trails and have picnics out there, Roxborough is gorgeous. And they actually have a whole area of their new build homes over in that area as well. I mean, it feels like a whole different area when you're in Roxborough, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's growing too. Littleton is also known for having a lot of golf courses. So there's actually, I believe, 5 golf courses out in Littleton. So if you're a golfer, if your kiddos are golfers, you want them to be into golf, head to Littleton. You are not going to be shortage of golf courses. And they're also known, which I find this to be pretty funny, is that they're known for their breweries out there too. So I mean, Colorado as a whole, we have breweries all over the place. It's kind of like Starbucks, they're on every corner. Littleton has a bunch. So if you're into those micro craft brews, Littleton is going to be a great area. And Colorado, you could bring your kids to all of these places. They usually have playgrounds or games or whatever all over in all of these breweries. So feel free to bring your kids there. So overall, I feel like Littleton is one of my most favorite places, honestly, still even to visit, to take, my clients. I love when people want to move to Littleton because I love being down there. It is a beautiful location. It is close to the mountains, or closer to the mountains than Parker is. So again, if you are into the skiing, snowboarding, or even camping for that matter, Littleton is going to be really, really close to the foothills or the mountains. So that's right off of essentially C470 and I-70. So that's kind of where it butts up. So you're going to be able to hit up to I-70 in no time, up to the mountains. So if you are, mountain warrior, weekend mountain warrior, then Littleton is going to be a great location. Now, the average home price in Littleton is also going to be about mid-600s, but the difference between Parker's mid-600s and Littleton's mid-600s is that Littleton is going to be a lot older home. So for mid-600s, you're looking at probably 1960s, 1970s homes. Maybe it's been renovated, maybe not. So, but it is going to be a lot older if you want something newer in Littleton. Well, actually, there are newer communities in Littleton, don't get me wrong. There are, but they're definitely few and far between opposed to Parker. So you're going to get more for your money in Parker. And again, mainly it's just because it's so much farther east from the mountains than Littleton is. But it's also a lot of, depending on what kind of house you like better, what kind of lifestyle you like better. Some people just love the older homes, they love the fixer-uppers, and they love just the location of being closer to the mountains, where other people want something brand new, and that's why they head more towards the Parker area. Both areas are great. Both areas have phenomenal school districts, so both areas are going to be great top choices for bringing a family. All right, and number 3, and my personal most favorite spot and highly recommend, especially for people with families, is going to be Erie, Colorado. So Erie is going to be about 25 minutes north of Denver, and actually about 25 minutes to Boulder, so east of Boulder. So I feel like that's one of the big reasons on why Erie is such a great location, or prime spot, is because of its location. Now, Erie is going to be 19 square miles, and then it's going to be the smaller of the 3. It's about 33,000 people who live here, so we are quite a bit smaller, but it has increased like 60% in population in the last 12 years. So it's growing like crazy. Erie is located in 2 counties, actually. We have Boulder County and Weld County, both of them, so with school districts as well. So you're either going to be in the Boulder Valley School District, which is ranked number 1 in the state, according to niche.com. And then you also have on the Weld County side, the St. Vrain Valley School District, which is ranked number 5. So depending on which area of Erie you're going to be living in, It's going to be different school districts, of course. Both very good. My kiddo, my son who is 6, he's in the St. Vrain. I have nieces and nephews in the St. Vrain. Love the St. Vrain school district, but obviously if you want to be in Boulder Valley, you need to look towards that or open enroll. What I absolutely love about Erie is that it's a little bit more rural, which took me a split second to get used to, honestly, when I first moved here. But it's slowly becoming not so rural, honestly, because it is growing so quickly. But what I like is that while it's growing, it still has that small town vibe and that small town feel. So if you're somebody who wants your kids to be involved in, all of the activities, because there's so much, and there's so much sports. Like Erie is crazy with their sporting events with the kids. Downtown Erie, which is so cute, but it's a lot smaller than than Parker's and Littleton's, but it's more quaint. Honestly, you could just ride your bike there, but you have the ice cream shops, the breweries, the cool restaurants, the ice skating during the Christmas time. You have concerts in the park, farmers markets, the Erie Biscuit Day, the Boo on Briggs. Like there's so much stuff for kids and it's all geared around kids, which is super, super cool. We have movies in the park too during the summertime. So there's just so much stuff legit geared towards kids and young families that's why I actually love this area so much. We also have the Erie Rec Center that has an indoor pool. That's one thing that we don't have is an outdoor pool, but there's plenty of neighborhoods that do have that outdoor pool. But the Erie Rec Center has the indoor pool and it has a climbing wall and all of that stuff. And then the Erie, the community park, you're gonna have there's like a bump track, there's the batting cages, there's, all of that normal stuff, but it's pretty big actually. Erie also has a disc golf course and also has a single track. So if you're somebody who likes to ride on the single track, there's 3 miles of it. And then the disc golf course, which is super cool. Then there is we are located on the Colorado National Golf Course, which is actually where the CU Buffs, they play or they practice at Colorado National. But there's also, and the community, the neighborhood surrounds Colorado National. So you could go in there and you could, eat dinner at the restaurant. It's really cool. And if you want a golf course view, that's where you're going to be living. There is a little over 1,000 acres of open space. There's a couple lakes and ponds within Erie that you can walk around and fish and all that good stuff. And then like I already mentioned, you're super close to Boulder, but you're also super close to Estes Park and Rocky Mountain National Park. So if you are like myself, a camper, we head up to Estes all the time during the summertime because it is only about 45 minutes to get up there. And you don't have to deal with like the traffic of I-70 for some of the other areas. So that is a huge perk about, in my opinion, living in this particular area because you miss the traffic of I-70 unless you're purposely trying to get up that way. Head up to Estes, avoid all of that, and it makes your life so much easier. The average house price in Erie is going to be a little bit more. You're pushing the 700s, low 700s out here. But one thing I will say, you can get it less. You can get it in the 600s for sure. And those are going to be more of the older homes built in the 90s. But the newer homes, like I said, Erie is growing like crazy. So the newer homes are going to be roughly about 700,000, if not a little bit more, depending on obviously size. But most of all of these communities will have the pools, the amenities, the gym, all of that kind of stuff. And that's what I do find that a lot of people who have small kids or families, they're gravitating towards because they want all of that stuff. They want to get to know their neighbors. They want to be outside. They want to go to the pool. They want to do all that stuff. And that's why I personally love this particular area, just because it does offer that in so many aspects in so many neighborhoods. So anyways, those are the top 3 areas or top 3 cities around Denver that I think you should consider when moving to Colorado with kids. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. My contact information is right there. Please reach out to me. I love hearing from you. I love helping you move to Colorado. It is something I absolutely love. So please reach out, and to the next video, take care.